Okay, so the big question, should you even attempt to pursue a career in tech in 2026 going forward? If you are in tech or you're trying to get into the tech market, you've probably seen a lot of people talking about how AI is going to take every software engineer role out there, and software engineers are basically going to go extinct in 2027, whatever. Do I think that is true? No, I think it's complete bollocks if you ask me, because a lot of people tend to basically repeat what other people say. They don't reason the things that they say, and they just tend to let hype and trends influence what they're doing and what they're saying, and they basically don't use common sense at all. Now, with this, I don't want to say that some of the things out there are not true, because I believe AI is a super powerful tool that can basically increase productivity in so many ways, but I do not think it's going to end software engineer as a whole. So without further ado, I want to get into it. First of all, let me get my ugly mug out of the way. So I want to start with this tweet from 2025, November 24th, 2025. Here's the date, by this lovely chap, Adam Wolf, who's an engineer in Anthropic. And he basically said that AI is going to generate all of the code that engineers write. And on another tweet as well, he said that he gives engineers, software engineers, 18 months. So by roughly mid 2027, all software engineers will be extinct and they will be jobless, and software engineer as a role, as a job, will not exist anymore. That's exactly what he said. So that would be very scary if we didn't have this article right here from Anthropic CEO, our friendly chap Dario Amodei, who basically says that in 3 to 6 months, AI will be writing 90% of the code. So we can see here 90% of the code software developers were in charge of. This was at the beginning of 2025. Now that would be also very scary if we didn't have this article right here, and it's from 23rd of February 2024. And it basically says that Jensen Huang advises a different career path other than coding. So this poses the question of, hey, what the hell is actually going on, and who should we even listen to? Because apparently in 2024, this guy, Jensen Huang, said that, hey, software engineering is dead. Software engineers are going to be out of jobs in the next few months. So don't even go for a tech career anymore. Choose these different career paths. But then in 2025, at the beginning of 2025, we had Anthropic CEO saying that in 3 to 6 months, AI will be writing basically 90% of the code that developers were in charge of in every single company out there. And that didn't happen. And now we have this lovely chap here, Adam Wolf, saying that within 18 months, all software engineers will be jobless and they just won't exist anymore. And we have heard this narrative since the beginning of 2023, when AI really started making its way into the market and people really started to use it. We have been bombarded with messages of AI is actually going to end engineers. But there is a caveat to all of this, and I just want you to understand how cycles work. So essentially, the market works in cycles. Now, don't mind my extremely ugly drawings, but this thing that we're living today, the AI revolution, is just another cycle. And the cycle has repeated itself for many, many, many years with different things. For example, I want to give you the COBOL example. Back in the 60s, okay, so I'm not even talking about 2-3 years ago. I'm talking back in the 60s. Okay, in the 60s, people said that software engineering would be dead in banks and all these institutions that use COBOL, because COBOL appeared, and basically now bankers and all these workers at banks and stuff like that would be able to write their own programs. Now, later on in the 80s and 90s, tools that automated certain parts of the development process appeared, and people said that software engineers would be basically dead. There would be no software engineers, because if there were tools that automated everything, software engineers were not needed anymore. And then in the 2000s and 2010s, some no-code and low-code tools appeared. as well as more automation tools. And what did people say? Hey, you know what? Software engineers are going to be dead because now we've got these no code and low code tools like WordPress, we've got Shopify, we've got all this cool stuff. So why the hell do we even need software engineers anymore? And people said the software engineers would be dead. And if we have a look at what happened as a result of these three cycles, okay, engineers, not only did they not disappear, okay, not only did they not disappear, I don't know what's happened there. Okay, I just clicked the wrong button. There you go. So not only software engineers not disappear, but they came out even, oh my God, I need to really work on this pencil thingy. All right, so anyway, don't mind me. Not only software engineers didn't disappear, but they came out stronger. People needed more software engineers. Why? Because they actually didn't have the time to work with the tools that were invented. They didn't have the time to learn the new tools. They didn't have the time to learn to code, essentially. That's why programmers exist in the first place. Now, I want to give you my view on what is actually going to happen from now going forward. And I think we're just going to have two main things, or two main groups, okay? We're going to have people. We're going to have people right here. People are always going to exist. So we're going to have people and we're going to have machines. Now, people are always going to want to be in touch with other people. And machines, I believe they're going to exist to serve people be better and more skilled workers. I don't think machines will exist to replace people, because let's really think about this for a very quick second. Let's think about this with some logic and with some very, very basic common sense. If machines took over the market and machines started doing everything and machines got rid of every single desk job out there, be it accountants and like software engineers, engineers of all kinds really, because engineers at the end of the day, majority of them, they're just working behind a computer. Whatever job you can think of, even education, biology, medicine, if we have an AI that can be a doctor better than a doctor can, then why the hell do we even need doctors? So if AI or machines started taking over every single job out there, the economy would collapse. There is no way that is sustainable. So I don't think the future is going to be 100% people. In fact, it is not right now. The market is not 100% people right now. But I don't believe that the future is going to be 100% machines, because at the end of the day, people need people. We are human beings. We need that human interaction. And machines cannot take over the marketplace. They just basically can't, without humans being involved in the process. So I think the future is going to be more here, more in the middle. I think it's going to be people and machines living together and basically sharing the same space, quote unquote, sharing the same space. I do believe we humans are going to use machines to make our work more efficient and be better professionals, be more skilled and more productive at what we do. But I don't think machines are going to completely take over. At the end of the day, at least at the stage that AI is right now, you wouldn't even want it to take over anything, because just ask ChatGPT some very, very simple question. And if you've ever tried vibe coding an app and you've got stuck in this loop of, hey, AI, I've got this bug in my application, can you please solve it? The AI was like, okay, yep, let me get to work, and came back a couple of minutes later and the AI was like, okay, this bug is fixed. It is all sorted now. And you go back to the application and you go and check it out and you're like, God damn it, it is not sorted. So you prompt the AI back again. Hey, AI, this is not fixed. And you just go in this loop of prompting the AI to fix a bug, and the AI tells you that the bug is fixed. And my point with all of this stuff, or what I'm trying to say, is that AI is not perfect, and we're always going to need humans in the loop. Now, don't get me wrong, the role of a software engineer may evolve, of course, just like it has always evolved. In all of these cycles that I was talking to you about here, in the 60s, 80s, and the 2000s, the role of a software engineer has always evolved, but always for the better. And like I said, software engineers did not cease to exist, but people needed more and better software engineers. So what do I think is going to happen? I think we're going to be at the intersection, like I said, of people and machines. But I think the skilled engineers that are capable of reasoning what the AI is basically spitting out to them, and people or engineers that are capable of fitting what the AI is spitting out to them into a more bigger, complex system, are going to be the ones that are going to flourish in the future. On the other hand, people that just stay stuck in old ways, because at the end of the day, you have to evolve as a professional. You have to evolve if you want to be valuable to the new market. People that stay stuck in the old ways, or people that essentially fail to reason or fail to come up with solutions for problems, are going to be the ones that are going to get absolutely wrecked. So in that case, if you're one of those engineers, yes, you're probably going to be jobless. But not because AI is going to take over the world, it's simply because you're not a good professional. Okay. Now, those are my predictions going forward. I do not think that AI is going to completely take over. I wouldn't listen to any of this stuff, because at the end of the day, if you think about it as well, just think about it logically. When this guy makes a huge statement about how Anthropic is going to be taking over the market and all this kind of stuff, and basically AI is going to be the main thing and is going to make software engineers obsolete, that brings a lot of clicks. A lot of clicks, which means a lot of business to Anthropic, a lot of revenue to Anthropic. And at the end of the day, you just have to reason what things you're reading. You can't just be like, okay, I read here that Anthropic CEO says that in 3 to 6 months he will be writing 90% of the code, and I'm just not going to get into tech. No, that is a huge mistake in my opinion. You need to reason. When this guy makes a claim like this brings a lot of eyes, a lot of attention, a lot of clicks, a lot of revenue for his business, and that is exactly what he wants. He's trying to sell his product. He's trying to sell his business. And the more people see that Anthropic is out there, the more people will want to try it out, and the more people will buy Anthropic's product, and the more revenue Anthropic will have, and the more happy this lovely chap here, Dario, will be with life in general, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of people paying him a lot of money every month to use Anthropic. So baseline of all of this stuff, no, I don't think AI is going to take over everything. I think software engineers are super useful, and just remember this graph. I think we're going to live in an intersection between people and machines somewhere around here. People are going to use machines to be way more productive, but I don't think machines are going to take over, because if machines take over, the economy goes to shit. And if machines take over, it's just not a viable thing. Okay, it's just not a viable thing. People need people. At the end of the day, we need other human beings. We need to be in contact with other human beings, and we're probably going to use machines to be way more productive, but not to basically eradicate us all. So anyway, I would love to know your opinion, because there's a lot of people that think differently, and that is completely acceptable. But I would love to know your opinion down in the comments below. And if you like this video, just subscribe, because I talk about AI, I talk about software engineering, and I just basically talk about my journey in this somewhat bloody crazy tech market. So yeah, just would love you to stick around, comment down below what you think, and yeah, hit that subscribe button, and see you next time.